guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I wanted to come in here and review and tell you guys my thoughts and my opinions on the new Lorac Mega Pro 3. This is what the outside of the package looks like, and when you get it, it's going to come into a box that looks like this. So this is what the packaging itself looks like. I do think the box itself is actually really pretty. I like the rose gold onto the packaging. I like the rose gold onto the actual palette box, the palette itself. I really do like the rose gold. I'm not particularly fond of the white because the white does show a lot of fingerprints, but however, I think all of the Lorac palettes show fingerprints. They show the makeup on it, so I don't think that's an absolute flaw in the palette itself. I would just say that, you know, if you are someone who doesn't like your palettes to look dirty or whatnot, then you probably won't like any of the Lorac palettes, to be honest with you, because they are all like that. They all show fingerprints. They all show all the makeup products that are on it. So I mean, mine obviously already is a little bit dirty, so I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but it's already a little bit dirty, and that doesn't bother me, to be honest with you. It's wet for some reason. That's not good. But that doesn't bother me, to be honest with you, as long as what is inside the product itself, inside the packaging, is actually good. And I can tell you right now, if you're looking at this video to find out whether or not you would want to purchase this palette, I'll go ahead and save you all the time of watching the whole video if you don't want to watch the swatching and all that. That I'll tell you that this is an awesome palette. So I would say if you are interested in getting this and the colors interest you, I would go ahead and jump on board and go ahead and grab it while it's still available. It is available at Ulta. It is a $59 palette at Ulta. I've heard that it's going to be available at Kohl's too, but I don't think that's true. I think this is an Ulta exclusive. So if you're interested in it, I think Ulta is the only place that you're going to be able to purchase it from. So if you open this up, you're going to see a very large mirror. So it's got a very nice mirror in here, which is really dirty. It does, however, fold back completely. So if you want to lay it onto your desk while you're onto your makeup table while you're doing your makeup, then it does fold back completely. But here is what the actual palette looks like on the inside. As you can tell, it's been used and loved, and I just can't say enough good things about it, honestly, already. I think it's a great palette. I think it is a warm palette. I think it's for someone who has warm skin tones, but not necessarily only for warm skin tone. I think if you have a cool skin tone, you can also use it and love it just as much as I do. I think this is a palette that can be used for multiple skin tones. I don't think that any particular skin tone should get it and use it only. I think that they did it in a way that everybody can try this out and use it and love it. The top two rows here are the matte shadows. The bottom two are the satin shadows. So there's 16 matte, 16 shimmer. I mean, like shimmer, yeah, 16 satin shimmer. So you do have 32 shadows total in this palette. The palette itself is amazing. If you've ever tried anything from Lorac, then you know the quality of Lorac. They're not just Lorac, but they're Lorac Pro palettes. Not the like the holiday ones that they come out. This is kind of like a holiday, but like the littler ones. I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about or not. Let me see if I can grab one quick. Like this. Right here. So like these, if you have these, the actual products in it itself are not going to be the same. These are not as good as what the Pro formula is. The Pro formula is amazing. If you have never tried it, then I do recommend that you go in store and put your fingers into it and touch it, because once you do, this matte formulation, honestly, you put your fingers in that and it's just buttery. It is such a buttery formula. It does have a lot of kick up, but that reason why it does have a lot of kick up, first of all, it's a powder product, so all powder products are going to have a little bit of kick up. Secondly, this is not hard pressed, so it's in there very softly, so when you put your brush into it, you are going to kick up the product because it's in there nice and soft into the palette. So that's why you will have some kick up with this. That is not an issue with me. All I do is tap my brush off. So as long as you're tapping your brush off, or if you're doing your eye makeup before you do the rest of your makeup, then you're going to have no problems whatsoever. I am wearing this on my eyes today as my eyeshadow look. I do love this palette. I think it's absolutely amazing. So let's get into some swatches, and also let me do a little bit of comparison first before we swatch. So this is, like I said, the Lorac Mega Pro 3, so which means there were two other palettes that came out before this. There was a red one, like a burgundy color. I did not get that palette. I missed that. That was 2 years ago. And then last year they came out with this one here, which was the Lorac Mega Pro 2. So I do have this one, and again, you can see how the packaging gets really gross and dirty, but I mean, it's just a flaw, and not really a flaw. It's just how they make their packaging. It's very fingerprinted proof. I mean, like, it's kind of like having stainless steel in your house. Anybody who has stainless steel in your house, then you know that you're always going to be going around wiping that down. That's what the Lorac palettes remind me of. They get a lot of fingerprints. So if you do have this one here, let's do a little comparison so you can see if you're interested in getting the 3 and you're like, well, are they going to be similar? So let me show you the color variances, or oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump you guys. The color in each one of these. So let's show you. Let me see if I can do this without dropping either one of these, because they are so soft that if you dropped them, I'm sure that that would be a mess. So here are both of the palettes on top of each other. This is last year's palette, and the bottom is, of course, this year's palette. So that is what the palettes look like. So this one I think is more of a cool tone palette, and the white one, the new one, is more of a warmer tone palette. But again, like I said, just because it is a cool tone or a warm tone palette doesn't mean that you have to have cool tone or warm tone skin to use this. So if you have last year's palette and then you were thinking about getting this year's palette, I think there are some certain colors in here that are kind of similar, but I don't think this is identical whatsoever. I think that this one is, like I said, a little bit more of a warmer tone. This one's a little bit more of a cooler tone, and I honestly love both of them. Now, if you're trying to say, what is this more like? Because Lorac did come out with a couple other Pro palettes. They came out with the Lorac Pro 1, so I'll show you the difference between the Pro 1. So here is the Pro 1, and then here is the palette, so that you can see the differences and the similarities. So this one does look pretty similar. I would say that these are very close in nature because they're both warmer tone palettes. And then if you compare the Lorac Pro 2, here is the Pro 2, and it's the gray packaging. So here is the Pro 2, so that is what that one looks like compared to it. I don't think this one looks too similar whatsoever. There are some similarities in the browns, but I mean, you're going to always have that. You're always going to have some similarities in the browns. And then you're going to compare the Lorac Pro 3. So here is the Lorac Pro 3, and it looks kind of similar also. I would say that these are almost, there's some colors in there that you probably could almost get away with if you didn't want to buy the Lorac Pro 3. If you didn't want to buy this Mega Pro, you could probably get away with using this and the Lorac Pro 1 and getting some similar looks out of both of the palettes. Because they do have some similar shades, but not identical. Nothing identical in the palettes. Similar, but not identical. So honestly, I think if you have those three palettes and you're still interested in this, I'd say still grab it, because honestly for $59, you're getting 32 shadows, which these palettes right here, you're getting, how many do you get in this? I don't even know anymore. You get what, let's see, there's 4, 8, 16. So you get 16 in here, so you're getting double the product. This is 59 and this is 42. So again, I think if you're looking at getting one of these, I think it's a great deal. I think I would jump on board and get it now before they sell out. I'm not trying to be a pushy salesman or anything, because it's probably what it kind of sounds like, but honestly, this is just such great quality. I do not regret getting this whatsoever. Honestly, I'm almost considering getting a second one to have for a backup, because I really do love it that much. Okay, so now let's get into swatching, because like I said, the first 2 rows are mattes. So what I'm going to do is swatch out the top 2 rows first on my arm, and then on this arm we'll do the shimmers. So we'll start over here with Pink Cream. Pink Cream is a typical, to me, I think Pink Cream is like a color that you can use if you want to lay down your first shade. So here is Pink Cream. That's what Pink Cream looks like. Now we'll go into Tan. And Tan has a little bit of a pink undertone to it, but not much. I mean, it has a little bit. I think, again, these are great shadows to use as if you want to lay down your color, your base. Now we'll go into Pecan. What I'm going to do is go ahead and put in over here. I'm going to put in the palette, a picture of the palette, so you can kind of see row by row where I'm going. This is Pecan. And then we have Walnut. So there are the first 4 shades swatched. I'm going to wipe my fingers off. Now we have Dusty Mauve. Dusty Mauve is like a purpley pink. Excuse my little scratches there. Bella decided she'd get a little excited and attack me. Then we have Violet Gray. Here is Violet Gray. Then we have Eggplant. Eggplant. And then we have Dark Navy. So this is the complete first row swatched. So that is the first row. Gorgeous colors. I think it's a very, very beautiful palette. I mean, if you don't have anything in your collection that looks like this, I would get it. If you do have things in your collection that look like this, but you prefer the Lorac formulation over another formula that you have, I would definitely get this. Honestly, I don't regret it whatsoever. I think it's an awesome palette. Maybe I should swatch on this side so we can, no. We're just going to have to ignore the kitty cat scratches. Sorry, guys. Now let's move on to the second row. So the second row we have Crepe, Toffee, Mist, and Vintage. So here's Crepe, Toffee, Mist, and Vintage. So as you can see, those colors are really, really pretty. These again, like I said, are all mattes. So now let's move on to the last four in the mattes. We have hickory, maple, bark, and jet black. Hickory, maple, maple, bark, and jet black. So they look a little patchy right here, but I mean, I'm swatching this with I'm barely putting my finger in, first of all, and there's no primer on my arm. I do not use a primer when I do swatches. I think it's best not to, because you're getting to see the true actual colors. They might look patchy, but honestly on the eyes you're not going to have any problems whatsoever. I think that these are probably the best formulation that you're ever going to find in eyeshadows. I think Lorac has the best formulation. So now let's go ahead and switch arms, because let's try to get rid of those kitty cat scratches. And we'll go over to this arm here, and we'll go ahead and swatch the shimmer shades. So we have Snow, Cava, Cider, and Bellini. So here is Snow, Cava, Cider, and Bellini. So can you see those shades? They're very, very pretty. There's like a gold undertone for most of those, but do you see I just saw a little bit of shadow drop, and that is, again, like I said, going to be a problem with Lorac shadows just because they're so soft. Now we have Brown Sugar, Sequoia, Glacier, and Deep Fog. So Brown Sugar, Sequoia, Glacier, and Deep Fog. So there is the first whole row. So let's go ahead. Sorry guys, we got interrupted there swatching, so let's get back to swatching. We have our very last row to swatch on this palette. So now we're going to go down to the last row down here, and we're going to swatch Tulle, oops, dropping things behind us, Pink Bronze, Rust, and Rose Quartz. So here's Tulle, and I'm sorry, yeah, Tulle, Pink Bronze, I'm getting all confused, Pink Bronze, Rust, and Rose Quartz. So there's what those colors look like swatched. Again, these are all shimmer, like satin shades, shimmer satin shades. They're gorgeous. Now we have Olive, Dark Roast, Pomegranate, and Licorice. So Olive, Dark Roast, Pomegranate, and Licorice. So that is the entire bottom two rows of the satin shimmer shades. Again, I think they're completely gorgeous. I think that if you are interested in this palette, I cannot find a single flaw in the shadows. And not only that, I mean, look at this. Just sitting here dry wiping it off, it's like it leaves a stain, which it's going to tell you that you honestly do not have to use a shadow with a primer with these shadows, because it's going to do a great job of just kind of adhering to your eyes. They're really, really nice quality. If you've ever tried anything from Lorac, then I don't think you're going to be upset by this palette whatsoever. I think you're going to fall in love with it, honestly. So other than that, that is my little review on this palette here. So if you guys have any questions or comments, or if you bought this palette and you want to leave some information below on your thoughts and your opinions on this palette, please do. Please leave as much information as you can, or ask any questions that you want to. I am more than willing to answer any questions if you have any questions about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys found this informative, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.